Hello, friends. I'm gonna talk for a minute about mental energy healing. But first, I'm gonna share this to my Facebook group, Ascending Earth Creatrix. So let's see if I can find myself here. There I am. And there we are. Boom. Now I'm in two places. Hi, everybody. It's Catherine Massell, intuitive energy healer, spiritual growth catalyst, Ascending Earth Creatrix. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tell Us Tuesday if you are in Ascending Earth Creatrix. Time to share your stuff with the group. Hi, Stacy Norse Allen. Hello, hello, hello. So I want to talk about a really simple and easy practice that I use, and surprisingly, I've been finding out as I've been talking to some more clients that they don't use this practice in their lives. And some of them didn't even know about it. Some of them have heard of it but never even used it. But then some clients never heard of it at all. And so I feel like it's just such an amazing thing to share, especially when we are working on the art of the up level, which is, well, we're all up leveling all the time, aren't we? We're all expanding, we're all growing. We are all on our soul's journey to become more, to do more, to have more. That's the nature of being here on earth at this time. We are growing, expanding. But sometimes this is a painful process. Sometimes we have a lot of growing pains. Sometimes we feel like so overwhelmed by all of the constant chatter in our heads, the chatter from the inner critic, telling us what we can't do, can't be, can't have, you know, that inner judge that's always saying, that would be nice and everything, but here's all the reasons why you can't have it. Hold on, I'm gonna get rid of my doggy. He's freaking out. Come on, honey. Out. He has to steal the spotlight. So oh yes, Stacy Norris Ellen, we all need this. We all need this. So it doesn't matter what we are manifesting, because there's some common denominators to manifesting. That it doesn't matter if you're trying to manifest weight loss, you're trying to lose some weight and become more fit. It doesn't matter if you are trying to manifest a new relationship, a whole new career. Maybe you're going through a major life transition where you are changing the trajectory of your whole life in such a way that you want to transform your life. It doesn't matter what you're trying to manifest. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed by all the things that we have to do in order to get there that we find that we are a slave to the mental chatter in our head, and we don't know which way to go then, okay? When we are thinking about, the first problem is when we think about manifesting something, we have to understand that it is cyclical in nature. There's a time to plant seeds, and there's a time to watch them grow, right? Surrender the outcomes, surrender your attachment to the outcomes specifically of what you're manifesting. And there's a time to reap the rewards of it and be in celebration mode. And then there's a time to go back to retreating again, that time where we replenish all systems so that we can begin creating anew with fresh energies, right? With vigor. And so cycling through the manifesting process means understanding those parts of the cycle. And if you don't know that, that is one of the things that I'm teaching in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp, which starts June 4th. And so we're trying to go about this cycle of manifesting with the linear mind. The way our mind works, the way the brain works, is very linear. There's this, we do this, then this happens, then that happens, then that happens. I take this action, then there's this, 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 and this. It's very linear, okay? So when we get caught up in that mental chatter, and we are in that place of overwhelm and confusion about all the things we need to do, those next steps we need to take. How do we get the energy and the momentum to do it? How do I take that first step? What do I do after that, right? We get very caught up then in the mental chatter. So what do we do with all that stuff that just looms large in the brain and overwhelms us to such an incredible degree that it makes us feel like we're paralyzed and we can't even do anything at all then, right? Who's been there? Okay. When we get to this place where we feel like, okay, there's just so much, I feel paralyzed. Now I'm so confused. I don't know my ass end from a teacup. I don't even know where to start. right? Guess what you do to get yourself out of that pickle? A brain dump. Who knows what a brain dump is? Okay? It is this process of grabbing your favorite notebook. I have a million of these, like, $1.69 notebooks that I get at the drugstore. And I've got notebooks filled with that, like all the stuff that I need to write down for course contents, working with clients, all kinds of stuff. I just have a million of these notebooks. They are my best friend, okay? Ideally, I would love to have one giant tome to hold all of this stuff, but that's not going to happen. The $1.69 notebook from Rite Aid will work just fine. But what I write down, I grab my favorite pen and I write down everything that's on my mind right now. I get really present. I start feeling into what's in my body. What do I feel? What emotions are going through my mind and my body right now? Like, where am I holding these emotions in my body? What am I feeling? What am I thinking about? This is the process of the brain dump is an incredible process for several reasons. First reason, it allows you to get really, really present with where you are right now. What are you thinking about? Where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel paralyzed? Where do you feel expanded? This isn't just for, sometimes the brain dump can be really instrumental in helping you get into a regular gratitude practice where you can really expand into more of an attitude of gratitude every day. Write all the things down that are going really great in your life. We forget to do this too. We forget to celebrate where we are, right? Which is also another manifesting aspect, right? It's part of that manifesting cycle is to be in gratitude and to celebrate what we have, right? But when we are stuck and we feel we're like victims of that mind chatter, the brain dump. See, I've been doing a brain dump this morning, writing down all the reasons why I can't have this next level of what I'm creating. I'm trying to create another income level. I've been really good at using this process in particular, along with many others that I'm sharing in Heal, Awaken, Align, by the way, to help me get into the mindset of, all right, here's what I want, getting really clear about what I want and saying, okay, if this is what I want, what are all the things that are making me feel like I can't have it right now? Not only does this force you to get really, really present and really, really aware and honest with what you're feeling, with what you're thinking right now, not only is that incredibly empowering to see all that and then write it down so that it's there. You're aware of it completely. You accept it. Not accepting it in such a way that I want to stay here, but you accept that, hi, Angela, you accept that this is where I'm at right now. This is where I am. This is the shit that I'm working with. If you can get in that place and be totally honest with what it is that you're feeling and thinking in the moment, it's a lot easier to move through and feel all the feels, which is what you need to do to move through that shadow, to move through that process of feeling like you are limited or feeling like you're in lack or scarcity. Feel it. Just feel it for a second. When you write it down, you get that brain dump process going and you write it down, you see it in front of you, you realize, okay, this is what I'm working with here. That knowledge is power. Now you can go one of two ways with this. Once you have this brain dump process down and you get everything out on paper that you're feeling in the moment, all the reasons why you can't have what it is you're trying to manifest, all the reasons why you can't be this person you're trying to be, all the reasons why you can't lose weight, all the reasons why you can't make more money, all the reasons why you can't change your career, all the reasons why you can't get out of your relationship, all the reasons why you can't start a new one. It doesn't matter what you're manifesting or moving through. There are beliefs that you are holding, emotions that are trapped in your body that need to be released. Because it's telling you, if all of that when it's pent up in there and you don't get it out, it's informing you on this is your truth right now and this is where we're stuck and this is where we're going to stay. But if you get it out on paper and you can start looking at things one by one and saying, well, I don't really believe that's true. I may be holding this energy of this right now, but I can think of 10 reasons why this isn't true. In the last year, I did this, 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 and this, and this, so I know that this isn't true. Boom, knock that out. Do some tapping on it, do some forgiveness work with it, get it out of there, clear it. You can either go one of two ways with this information. When you get this brain dump process going and you get all these things out on paper, you can go one of two ways. You can either go into that inner critic mode where you are aligning with self-judgment. You're judging where you are in a way that is unforgiving and saying, look at all this stuff. How am I ever going to deal with all this stuff? I am broken. I'm not worthy. Look at all these reasons I gave myself for not being worthy. Or instead of going into that inner critic self-judgment mode, you can look at everything that's there and start picking out patterns. Because I guarantee you, if you're really honest and you get your guts out on paper, everything you're feeling and thinking, hi Svetlana, get everything out on paper. When you start looking at it from that God's eye perspective, that part of you that knows that, okay, I create my reality. Anything that's in my reality I have created with my own thoughts and my own feelings. Do I want to use this to empower myself, or do I want to use this to keep diminishing myself? Because we see where that's going. Okay? I'm sorry to be tough on you with this one, but you have to understand the importance and the power of this process and how it can help to transform you. And it's something easy, it's simple, that you can practice a lot. I do this like 3 or 4 times a week. So you can go into that God's eye perspective instead of going into inner critic mode and saying, okay, well, let's pick out the pattern here. Because all of these beliefs are telling me a story. They're telling me a story of where I am disempowered. They're telling me a story of where I feel I can't change my destiny. They're telling me a story of where I'm going on this trajectory of my soul's path right now. Do I like it or not? And understanding from that God's eye perspective that you create all aspects of your reality. You create the totality of your reality. You create the quality of your experience at any given moment. If you're looking at this and saying, I don't like this, I don't want to be this person, then you get to change that. But only when you get your guts out on paper and see the story, see the larger story that you're telling yourself, only when you see that do you understand what direction you're headed in. And informed with that knowledge, you either get to side with the inner critic and say, okay, this is too much, I can't do anything about it, I'm not going to do anything about it. That's saying, well, there's a part of me that's really okay with this then. And I choose to stay in this place of disempowerment. I choose to stay in this place of illusion. I choose to stay in this place of limiting beliefs, trapped emotions. I choose to stay in this place where I feel like if I'm going to expand or grow, it's going to be by default. It won't be me driving that bus. Or you get to take all of this knowledge, look at the patterns there, see the story that it's telling you. And you get to ask yourself from that heightened perspective, that expanded perspective, that pulled back lens on your life where you are the objective observer of your life. You get to say, that doesn't look good. I don't like that. I don't want to be there. What is this story that I'm telling myself? What is the pattern here? Where can I start to see these patterns in my everyday life where I tend to go there, where I tend to have those thoughts that keep me aligned in that pattern of lack? Where do I tend to anchor into those behaviors that keep me aligned with that pattern of lack, right? What does Svetlana say? Thank you very much for your thoughtfulness and care. I love listening to you. I started to understand that I've been very harsh on myself. Sweetheart, we all are. When that inner critic takes over, we will say things to ourselves from that place of the inner judge that we would never tolerate anyone else saying to us. Why do we do that? Why do we put ourselves in that constant mode of limitation? Why do we put up with this voice of the inner critic that we know deep down inside, in the depths of our soul, that that voice is not right? So how do you get out of this? How do you get out of these patterns? How do you shift this? How do you change this? Well, first of all, start doing brain dumps. Start getting committed to maybe just 3 times a week. Give yourself 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get present with where you are. And I mean get really present with where you are. Like I always say, if you guys have been following me for a while, one of the things that I say a lot is the now moment is the most largely unoccupied piece of real estate. Because we don't go there. We don't get present with what we're feeling because too ugly. I don't have time for that now. I gotta go shopping. I gotta pick up the kids. I have to make dinner. I have to go to work. Okay? Don't want to look at it. I'll deal with it later. But when is later? Okay? Or you're dealing with the past. You're stuck in the past, lamenting how things used to be, which I guarantee is a glossed over version of things, because even though it feels painful where you are right now, you're better now than before. In a lot of ways. That's a huge generalization. But you have more knowledge in your life. You have more wisdom in your life. That's what I'm talking about. That you can anchor into. That you can get contrast in your experience now. More so, because you have more wisdom. Correct? Or we're in the future. Thinking about what has to come next. What's next week? What's next month? But if we're not in the now moment, checking in, being fully aware and honest with what we're feeling and believing, how do we ever get to a favorable future? If we're not in the now moment, processing everything that's happening with us right now, what we're feeling, what we're believing, how we're behaving, how do we contrast what was before with now? We have no realm of reference because we're not checked into the now. We don't know what's going on. Okay? Empower yourself with being in the now, and then do a brain dump. Think about what it is that you truly want. Give yourself a timeline. This is what I truly want in my life in the next 3 months. Okay, to start with a brain dump process, start thinking about all the reasons why. Yes, I want you to go there. Think about all the reasons why you can't have that thing. Because it allows you to get really present with what you're feeling. It allows you to see your patterns of lack. When you start looking at all the things you've written down, you start to see that pattern. You start to see things that tell a bigger story of what you're feeling, believing. Is chanting good to do in the now moment? Absolutely. Together with facing the now feeling. Yes, that is a fantastic practice. I like to chant to Lakshmi and Ganesha. And I find that it is very, very soothing to chant to them. I also chant to Hathor, but that's in light language. And it's not necessarily translatable. And it's kind of like a soul dialogue with Hathor, but it is kind of like chanting. And it really helps me to excavate what is really needing to purge, what kind of catharsis I need to have, what needs to come up into the light, what shadow needs to come up into the light, so I can be totally honest with, this is my barrier, this is what I have to work on. Okay, awesome, Savitri. Yes, I love it. I love doing that. Shreem Brazi, yes, one of my favorite chants, absolutely. And it just kind of rolls off the tongue. I really like it. Chanting is amazing because it helps you be very, very present. And you're working with that higher mind and the higher heart when you're chanting. So it's this beautiful unification of the linear mind, which anchors you into the physical realm, and the abstract mind, the higher mind that is linked to the infinite. So yes, we're on the same page with that, Savitri. I love it. I love chanting. But the brain dump is an amazing process. So start there. Start giving yourself a timeline for, this is what I want to work on. This is what I really, really, really want. And get clear about why you want it. And then get clear with yourself and get really honest, really true. Give yourself some tough love and say, all right, if I really feel into this, here are all the reasons that I'm giving myself for, I can't have it. I can't be this. I can't do this. It is going to illuminate your situation to such an exponential degree that you'll want to do this often. And then you start going through, picking out the pattern, and then you start, what do you do next after that? How do you change that? How do you transform that? Well, one of the things that I'm helping you with in Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp is exactly that. I'm giving you some tools that you'll be able to take that are easy practices, just like the brain dump, that are tweaks in your behaviors, the way you enact these beliefs or emotions. They are tweaks in your mindset process that you put yourself through every single day. They are ways to constantly correct your course and bring you back into alignment with everything that you're desiring. It is a process. Understand this. It's not like you do this a couple times and then you're done. It doesn't work that way, ladies. Unfortunately, I would love to be able to tell you that you do a brain dump a couple times and then you're done. You're good. Nothing left to heal. Well, in an ever-expanding universe where we are ever expanding and we are always up-leveling, we're always going to reach new thresholds of barriers, new thresholds of places where we feel like stuck and we can't move past that. They're called upper limits. We all have them. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care how wealthy you are. I don't care how affluent you are. I don't care how famous you are, how successful you are. We all have these upper limits. And we learn to work with them. It's just a process. It's just a process that we work through. It doesn't feel so daunting. It doesn't feel like we're disempowered. It doesn't feel like, because sometimes we often feel like there's no way out of where we are. There always is. There always is. And I can tell you this from working with hundreds and hundreds of clients over the last 16 years. There is always a way out. There is always an answer. But we have to be totally honest, first of all, with where we're at right now. Accepting where we're at right now with forgiveness and compassion is always the first step. So when you make your list, your brain dump, take a deep breath in, accept, this is where I am. This is what I'm working with. Because any other thing that you put on that is all delusion. If you think, well, none of this is really true. It is true to a certain degree because you wrote it down. It was there when you wrote it down. It was in your presence. It was in the now moment. It was part of you. Accept it and then forgive it. Have compassion for yourself because we all have this stuff. But empowering yourself with tools and resources to work through this is one of the ways that you understand the art of the up level, of constantly moving into new thresholds of abundance, and you're working with not only that cyclical pattern of manifesting and understanding how that works, which is one of the things that I'm talking about at great length in Heal, Awaken, Align, but also working with the linear aspect of mind that anchors you in the physical realm, understanding how to bring in that heart-mind unification, okay? Because we're really manifesting from the heart, because we're working with our desires, and our desires come from the heart. What we truly want to be, do, and have, what we feel our life purpose is, it's joy. It's about being in our joy. So we have to link this part of the heart with how the mind works and understand how the mind works, understand our subconscious limiting patterns and why they're there, why we're wired this way. And then we learn how to integrate both of those aspects of that cyclical part of being that aligns us with the subtle realms in the heart, and that linear physical realm of being that aligns us with everything on the 3D plane and the way we conceptualize our life and the way our 10,000-year-old programming of our primordial brain works. If you don't understand these things, you don't know how to integrate them, and you want to learn how to seamlessly integrate these things and bring in resources and tips and practices that you will go back to time and again, every time you up level, every time you're anchoring in a new level of abundance, I highly recommend the Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp, ladies. There is an incredible amount of value in this course for the price. You will get all kinds of resources, all kinds of exercises, support from me. It's energy healing of, once we see these patterns here, you can understand that there's also ancestral karma that needs to be healed. There are karmic contracts, soul contracts, earthly contracts that we came here in this lifetime that can be nullified. They can be released. They can be healed, especially in the ancestral karma, when we've taken on karmic patterns that are not ours, but they're part of our cellular programming. They're in our DNA. We've taken it on from our ancestors. And it can leave us in places of limitation and lack and scarcity here in this lifetime. Okay? We can clear that stuff too, and that is also what's going to happen in Heal, Awaken, Align. So I'm going to leave the link up here. There are still 2 VIP packages left, which is a $9.97 price tag, and it's the Heal, Awaken, Align Bootcamp. It is a 70-minute one-on-one session with me where we work on this stuff in much more depth. And it's the Abundance Lab, which is a 4-week course working on all your abundance blocks, your barriers, and your resistance to anchoring in new levels of abundance. It's an $1,100 value for $9.97. So if this speaks to you, if you want to get on the VIP package, which is, there's only 2 spots left, please comment here. If you want to check out the website, it's katherineMassel.com/Heal, Awaken, Align. I'll put in the description and the link to the course here. The early bird price of $597 expires on the 19th. It'll go up to $747 after that, which is still a bargain. So if you want to get in on this course, if you like what I'm talking about, if you need the support to help you move out of these times when you feel stuck, when you feel overwhelmed, you feel confused, please, please, please think about taking this course. It is going to help you anchor in new levels of transformation that you didn't even think were possible. So I want to wish you ladies a lovely Tuesday. I will see you soon.